Hi, and welcome to XactTime, Time America's 100% web-based solution. What I'm going to go over with you today is the administrative side of things. Again, your company ID can be pre-filled for you. Your login ID and password, you just put in the appropriate information and simply click Login. Once you logged in as the administrator, you'll be in the admin home. In the admin home, the first thing you want to see is your exceptions. And your exceptions are any missing clock in or clock out. And you can see Bob here on 3/3 at 8:03. He clocked in, but unfortunately he forgot to clock out. So if I simply click on this, it's going to take me lower into the page, but take me right to Bob's timesheet. So I click on that. I'm still in the admin home. I'm right at Bob's information here, and I can even come down here and see his summary information if I need to give him a phone call. And now I just come down to his timesheet. And there's our missing clock out. The time in, again, with no time out. So I have a few choices. I can come down to the bottom here. I can add a work shift. Add a work shift is a time in and a time out. Add a partial shift is a time in or a time out. Add a non-work shift, such as PTO, sick, or vacation. You can do a mass transaction, which allows you to clock in or out multiple people in one transaction. For this example, I'm simply going to click on Add Partial Shift. What this will do is open up the field, allow us to specify a clock in or clock out, specify the date, time. If you want, you can also include a note, approve the supervisor approval, and if you need to, you can also allocate that time towards a certain labor level, such as a department or job. Once you apply the partial shift, it will then be placed into their time card. Now, since we modified their time from the original, this modified icon will pop up. And what that does is tracks an audit trail for you. That'll tell you who made the change, what time and date they made the change, and exactly what was that change. We also have the supervisor approval process, which allows you to check them off one at a time, check off the all box, which does all these, or we can come over here to the timesheet approval section, click on that, and this allows you to filter down through your employees. In addition, it allows you to see just your unapproved employees. You also have customizable groups that you can create, so you can use these as filters. We'd simply apply our filters and come down and see our employees. If everything looks good, just simply check off the box next to our time card and they'll be approved. Or if you have any outstanding exceptions, you will be warned about that. Back at Bob's timesheet, I can click on previous week or previous pay period if I need to do so at any point in time. Coming back to the top of the admin home, which we're now in the middle and now back at the top, the one major thing you do want to take care of before you run payroll is your exceptions. Reason being, if you have a clock in, you need a clock out to figure out how many hours they worked. The time off request section allows you to see when your employees are submitting their time off. Along with that, you can see employee notes. We can even display a calendar view and see who else is requesting for time off. If the dates correspond to the calendar date down here, we can then schedule accordingly or move some people around if we need to do so. Once back at the admin home, we can simply just check off the box, and that will then approve their time, and they can see the green check mark on their employee page. Our generated report section is located right here. Once you do generate reports, they can show up here, but they can also show up in your inbox. And if I come up to the top in the admin reports, you'll get to see all the reports that come canned with the software. Tons of different employee information, schedules, approaching weekly overtime, clock in and out flags, your target reports, a bunch of different summary reports such as your time cards not approved by supervisor. That's a great one to run a couple days before you have to submit to payroll. You can come in here, run a summary payroll report, verify everything looks good in our software, because once everything looks good here, you simply come up here, click on the payroll export, and that's going to create a file. That file will be in the format that your payroll software requires. You can then simply take that file, attach it to an email, or simply import it right into your software if you do it in-house. Let's go ahead and take a look at the employee time card report. What you see here is a filter. This filter of one just like it is behind all the reports you just saw. What this allows you to do is specify different information depending on what report you run, such as signature lines approved by names. You can also break it down by your different groups, employees, or departments, for instance. You can specify your PDF or Excel, hourly salary. You can specify the date range. Let's say you want to have an employee time card report for your department in the PDF format from the current pay period, and you want to see that same report, let's just say every Monday morning. Well, guess what? Come in Monday morning, grab your cup of coffee, sit down and check your email, because sure enough that report will show up in your inbox for you every Monday morning. So we generate this report once, and sure enough that report will show up in your inbox again every Monday morning if you wish. If If I click on Employee Time Card Report, we'll get a little sample. Your company information will be right up here. Your employees and your date filters will be here. You can also see your employees with their start and stop times, their department codes, their hours that they worked. You'll also have a pay type summary and department summary down here at the bottom. If I come up to the top here in the admin home, we went over exceptions, we took care of time off requests, we generate some reports. I'm simply going to scroll down the page here. We're back to Bob's timesheet. I'm going to scroll one step further to the very bottom now of the admin home. Here we are, we can see the scheduled section. We can now edit their schedule if we want to individually, set up different templates if you wish, and have as many templates as you want. You can also assign multiple people to those templates. If you also wish, you can actually have multiple shifts per day. For instance, from 9 to 12 they're in one department, from 12 o'clock on they're in another department. You can do that within the same day as you wish. I'd simply apply the changes. I can also click on Express Scheduler. This allows you to come in, grab a group of employees for instance, and if I need to make some minor adjustments throughout the week, I can obviously move some people around, or if they're switching from one shift to another or one department to another, I can quickly do that if I need to. Once you apply your changes, they'll take place for you also. You can also have up to 4 weeks of rotating shifts, and you can actually change around your different templates for each week if you wish. Our pay adjustment section is the same as you see on the employees, and you might not want the employees to do it, but keep it strictly on the supervisor side. Well, this is where you can come in, for instance, and have a expense account, enter in a dollar amount, put in your note, for instance, and hit apply. And you see an example here of an expense for a Holiday Inn Express. The quick message section allows you to send a message to your employees. You can send it to a single employee, a department of employees, or company-wide if you wish. The last section you see here is the benefit balance for the current employee that we're on. I also want to show you the status board. If I click on that, this allows you to see who's out, working, at lunch, or on break. You can also see the last transaction, and if anybody left any notes, you can also see that too. This concludes our administrative overview for XactTime.